Hello everybody and welcome to this second bonus episode of Books Up Close. Hope you're all doing well. This episode will be talking about the other things that I've been consuming in August and September, other than the books that I've been bringing you in the reviews. So like last time, I'll be covering a couple of different categories, and it's going to be a very brief video, but just sharing some of the other stuff that I think you might be interested in. So in terms of TV, I actually haven't been watching that much TV lately. Long days on Zoom means the last thing I want to do in the evening is watch more laptop stuff. So when I've been dipping into little things here and there, one of which is my favourite relaxing TV show, Chef's Table, which if you haven't seen it, there's loads of seasons on Netflix you can get into. There's a new season which is Chef's Table Barbecue, which is fantastic. And even though I'm vegetarian and the sight of barbecuing entire pigs isn't the nicest thing to look at, the episodes are really fascinating anyway. Really easy viewing and makes you hungry. The other show that I think you should definitely watch is, in English it's called Call My Agent, in French it's called Dix Pour Cent. It's a really fantastic, funny show set in Paris about a kind of actors agency, and it features real French actors each week playing versions of themselves. It's really funny, light and engaging. Definitely worth watching. Okay, I just had to go and run and put the cat in the other room because he was about to play the piano, which is right next to me, and that would have been very loud in the video. On top of the TV, I've been listening to a lot of music, some fantastic new stuff coming out. The first, which obviously is a little bit late at this point, but Brandy's new album B7, which is so good. Really layered, complex, adult R&B. A few songs on there I do have some thoughts about, especially in their relationship to mental illness, songs like Borderline and Bipolar. But the opening song, Saving All My Love, on its own is worth like any entry price. It is a fantastic song. The rhythms, the phrasing, the layering of chords, her voice, her tone is really good. That one song you should listen to immediately. The other is the much awaited return of Jazmine Sullivan, a new song called Lost One, which is beautiful. Her voice is amazing as ever. I'll link to some of this stuff up the top. There's a live performance of her singing Lost One, which is fantastic. And if you haven't listened to it, you need to Google Jazmine Sullivan singing at age 12, I think she is, in her school play. And she's singing Home from The Wiz. And the runs that she does at the end as a teenager show you how amazing she was going to be later in life. So if you haven't listened to that, you need to go do that. In terms of podcasts, there are a few things that I've been listening to more of lately. One of them, which is only a 3 or 4 minute podcast per day, called the Slowdown, with American poet Tracy K. Smith, who basically just says a few words about a particular theme or topic, some of which are a little bit pretentious, some of which are fantastic and really interesting. I always like listening to her. She's got a great voice for podcasts. And then she reads a poem from a different poet. So every day you just get 3-4 minutes of a new poem and a few thoughts. It's a really nice way that I use to either start the day or to end the day. It's quite a nice little moment of just calmness. The other show is called Bloody Marys, which is a queer horror show that is really interesting. So 2 queer friends talk about horror movies. What more could you want, really? Especially during this spooky month. Well worth listening to. Fun, engaging, and good to watch along with the podcast too. Finally, in terms of books, maybe I'll get these as reviews to you, but it's unlikely given the back catalogue that I've got. The one is Robert Macfarlane's Underland, A Deep Time Journey, which is fantastic. So beautifully written, really interesting, all about places under the ground. So chapters on kind of caves in the north of England and catacombs underneath Paris, and then these caves in the very top of Norway. Just a really emotive and intellectual and scientific and artistic meditation on time in its most expansive sense. So the idea of deep time, which is, you know, temporality that is way outside of human comprehension. But all the movement underground really made me look more claustrophobic than I think I've ever been just reading on the page. The Paris chapter is very stressful, but really, really interesting nonetheless. And the other book is the new poetry collection from my friend and colleague Wayne Holloway-Smith. It's called Love Minus Love, and it's a really tender, thoughtful, really nuanced book of poems, none of which have a title, so they kind of flow one into the other in a kind of way about family, about trauma, about the past, but also about the kind of way that language agitates and moves and reforms. And you can kind of see that on the page as certain phrases loop around and repeat. Really sensitive poems that I think are really, really worth reading. It's his second book from Blood Axe, so please do check that out as well. As ever, please like this video, please share it, please tell your friends about it, and comment underneath. I really, really, really want to hear what you're reading, consuming, listening to, what podcasts I should add to my list. Let me know what you are getting through. And in the meantime, I hope you're keeping well, stay safe, look after each other, and see you soon.